This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. What's going on, freaks? Yep, just doing another Indiana cold case. This one has a billion files as well. It just kind of, I don't know. I'll start reading through them, and if it gets to the point where it's pretty crazy. It's kind of like a really in-depth murder of 3 individuals back in 1971. It's a little bit more well known. There isn't really a lot of like YouTube videos or anything, but it's been out there. It is a pretty big case in Indiana, but 1971, so it's 50 years old at this point, basically. So we're going to take a look at that. I don't know if I want to turn it into one of those 3-day slogs, because I could tell it wasn't as popular as you'd think it would have been when something's interesting. People need the quick, result. Most people need like a quick fix, like, oh yeah, there we go. That's why they like the 10-minute videos or whatever. But thankfully, enough of you like the long form. Thanks, Andrea Ruggiero Drum. And also, I feel bad about the membership deal. Okay? I mean, it makes me feel like, wow, great, you sound like you're greedy or something. But I'm not trying to be. What I'm trying to do is raise funds because, like today I talked to Colleen for, gosh, I don't know, seemed like 2 hours. Just kind of, hey. Thanks, Andrea Ruggiero Drum.
Chewbacca?
But
I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
But I'm trying to raise, funds and also support my channel at the same time to be able to pay for some of these DNA projects. But here's the thing is, I don't want people to donate to the channel if you can't afford it. Like literally, like, I'm reading comments in the comments section where it's, it makes me feel really shitty where, they were, if $1.99 or $4.99, during this COVID time makes a big difference to you, then I'd rather have you keep it. Okay. I'm just telling you the truth. And you just being here and watching is support. Okay. Just watch and comment, hit the like button, comment, do that kind of thing. And if you can send in a super chat someday, great, okay? Or become a member at a different time. But I'm doing this because it got to the point where everybody would just hit the default button on the lowest level. And, the numbers are that I have like still 196 people in the first tier, okay? And now there's 60 something in the $4.99 one. And there's almost 60 in the $9.99 one, okay? But the problem is people aren't shifting it over there, so at the end of the month I'm going to be like, wow, that sucks, because they're just all going to go away. So if you want to upgrade, keep your membership, fine. But if it's a thing where, wow, it's really hurting, be able to buy milk or bread, I really do not want you to send it to me, okay? You should use it on survival and helping yourself. But I'll still be doing the shows. Okay? Yeah, well, I don't care if you think the timing's off. Everybody knows the timing's off because it's COVID time. All right? Yeah, I get it. Yeah. And I didn't ask what your opinion was on the timing of it. I know that there's a COVID, there's a problem out there. Okay. I'm just saying, after it's all over, if you feel like you can come back to the membership part, feel free to do so. Okay. I'd love to have you back, but I'm thinking of maybe at the end of the month, extending it one more month or something. I don't know, but there's got to be a point where I have to say, okay, I got to do it. Well, there's a $9.99 one, Debbie. You mean just that only? Just have one tier for everybody? Right, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Don't send me a damn thing if you're what Boggle Queen just said right there. Yeah, I don't know if that would, I don't know. Because I want to do something where I can do one where it's higher, where if you do like a, let's say there was a $15.99 one, where you get a mug right away and then a t-shirt or something in the 6 months in. And then if you do even a higher one than that, you get like a mug, a t-shirt, and a hoodie every single year. But you could keep changing those up. You just have to tell me which one you want. But it'd be throughout the year. Yeah, I said that. The $1.99 one, while it's kind of cool, people can join, it turned out where it started to be where everybody just clicked on that one, except for some people who, I don't know why it was like that. It's just sort of easy to do, No, how do you know she's laughing at your comment, LM? Right, but your comment was about bad timing. I got to do what I'm doing. I know it's COVID out there. I don't have, I don't even know when it's going to slow down or anything like that. See, that's what I mean. That's what's just crazy. Why can't we just have a normal conversation? I didn't ask for your opinion on the timing of it. I just want to know about. I'm just letting you know that I. Oh man, just never wins. It's hard to win in here, It's just. Yeah, I am getting rid of the lower tier. Yes, I am. At some point. It's possible at the end of the month, if there's still 200 people in there, I might go, well, let's go to the, I want to get people moved over there so I can get rid of it. Yeah. And here's the thing, if you can't afford, if the $4.99 is like, whoa, man, I can't do it. Well, that means I'd rather have you use it on something for yourself, okay, at that point. And then maybe someday when we get out of this godforsaken deal. Okay, Ellen. All right. It just gets. I feel bad though. I really just reading some of the comments. Just know this: if you can't afford that, just coming here, watching the show, hitting the like button, commenting, sharing my channel with other people, that's helped too. Okay, and then maybe someday if you want to join the channel again as a member, you're still part of the Freak family. It's just like there's a membership thing where you get the icons. Okay. Well, I do feel bad because I'm actually a human being, you know, so I'm not a robot. Although I can play one, man, I can do it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, the thing is, it's in the join section. However, I'm getting rid of the lowest tier. So if you want to join, it's this $4.99 a month one. That'll be the lowest tier soon. Oh, that was weird. What just happened on the screen? The join button's right below the video next to the subscribe button. If you'd like to. Yeah, well, thanks, Kim.
Make money.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, you guys. This last year, when I checked, I actually, me personally on the channel made less than the donation that we gave $22,000 outright. After taxes, I got less than that. All right, so, you know, it'd be kind of cool to have both of them go up a little bit, you know. So it shows you that I was giving a large percentage, like I said. Okay. Yeah, I did one days and days ago. It's a members only video, O'Clancy Lean. Hey, thanks, Efna Cotton. Appreciate it. Very cool. Hey, thanks, Kim Young, up there. Trying to figure out what that means, that name. It's got to be sort of a... Hey, yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah. So anyways, I talked to Colleen today for a while. I think she's going to do a show here. It's going to be pretty cool. Hey, thanks, Maybe Sunshine, for upgrading. I'm going to do a show here with her, and she's going to explain and go through a case study of a genealogy research, man. How awesome is that, huh? Like, literally come on and go through, like, this is how it works. You send it in, we come back with this, and it's awesome. Hey, thanks, Indigo Eyes. Probably next Friday, though, not this one coming up. Alright, so hopefully you guys are into that. It's going to be sweet. She's just so interesting. It was funny, you know, like when I called her today, she answered the phone. It was like this. It didn't even barely ring, and she answered, and I go, wow, you were just sitting around waiting for my call. And she goes, I was. It was weird. I was just staring at the phone, hoping, you know, we just bantered back and forth. So the thing is she easily, I mean, she's funny too. You know, it's awesome. Yeah. I don't know. I'd really like to you know, I felt so good helping out in the DJ Ficky case. Just sending in that video. I know that video made a difference. I'm 100% sure. So, you know, that feeling felt good. So it'd be cool to have the, you know, actually solve a case. And I did call today. I called, or not solve it, but, you know, be part of it. You know, like paying. We're not going to be the ones doing the genealogy or anything like that. But, And the case from last night that we talked about, I did leave a message, and then I saw this image. I'm almost positive that guy's related to Doug Carter. If not, there's something in the food that makes you look similar. Okay, but I got his number. I called the number that I found, and it went. Now he's a lieutenant, and I'm thinking that I left him a message, but they were all closed down apparently because of threats that were apparently out there on Capitol buildings all around the country. That nothing happened, of course. But well, thanks, Kim Young. In that case, from last night, they have a DNA profile. So all it would take would be to take the DNA profile, give it to somebody who can then format it correctly to upload to GEDmatch, and then let the magic begin. It'd be that simple. I mean, in theory. I'm going to share what? What are you talking about? Well, yeah, of course, if I got the records. What do you think, Jennifer? I would just get it and, like, not share it? I mean, what the hell are you talking about? Jesus. Yeah, I'm going to try to get them myself, too. The records. Yeah, whenever I get the stuff, we go over them on the air. We've done it every single time. Man, you guys are still in hello mode. It's amazing. Jesus. All right, we've got the some more. I'm going to show this first part here. It's just has nothing to do with. Oh yeah, no, I was going to bring this up. I talked to her about this too. You guys see this? This has been on the DNA Doe project for a long time. The Sumter County Jane and John Doe. You guys remember this one?
Out of now know the names of a man and woman who were found shot to death off of I-95 way back in August of 1976. We're being told tonight that the man and woman were not related, and
how crazy is that? They weren't related. They were just hitchhiking around, and I thought I went over this one time. I can't remember, but they were just hitchhiking around, and they met each other, and then they were both murdered, obviously by the same person or persons.
They apparently met while they were hitchhiking. Sumter County Sheriff Anthony Dennis says the man was from Pennsylvania. The woman was from Wisconsin. He plans to release their names tomorrow. We've also learned tonight that the case was solved after bone marrow samples produced a match on Ancestry.com. Investigators say
Update on a cold case out of Sumter County. Back in 1976, a man and woman were found shot to death off of I-95. Their identities have been a mystery until now. Authorities are set to release those details tomorrow. Kaylin Hagwood visited the church where the two are buried and spoke to the daughter of the sheriff, now deceased, who spent much of his life searching for answers.
After more than 40 years, a Sumter County mystery will soon be revealed. It's the story of a young man and woman. Deputies say they were hitchhikers, but were found murdered along I-95 in August of 1976.
Daddy didn't bring his work home with him, but on certain cases, you knew that his heart hurt, and I knew his heart hurt for these two young people.
Jean Graham says her father, Ira Bird Parnell, was sheriff at the time of the investigation. He's since passed, but the mystery stayed with her family.
It was very shocking for something like that to happen here in Sumter. It was almost unfathomable. You know, you wouldn't think something like that would happen, and you just wondered why and who.
To honor them, she says her father pushed to have the two buried at their family church, Bethel United Methodist, in the county.
He just wanted closure for them, even though he knew that their families didn't have it.
Hold on, let me try this. It's Sumter, right? I want to see what the answer was.
Update on a cold case out of Sumter County back in 1976. A man.
Sure. Do they have the name in here though? This is from today, so you'd think that, and it's in the evening too. And the other article was from yesterday. That said tomorrow. Sumter County victims identified.
A warning tonight from Orangeburg deputies about a scam involving fake security letters.
I know that they've been identified.
Update on a cold case out of Sumter County.
There was supposed to be an let's see right there, maybe that. Oh wow, they actually have the pictures of it. Look at that, right there and right there. That's crazy. Man, that's terrible. Yeah, Jock and James Graves. Is that what their real name? No, that's not their name. Identified. Brutal. Okay, well, I don't know, have the update on what they're called, you know, what their names are at this point, so they have been identified. I think it's crazy though that they must have had one identity and said, well, let's wait until we get the other. I mean, what are the odds that you would identify two completely unrelated people on the same day? I doubt it. All right, here's some more drone footage of the Doulos property. It's pretty interesting. It's kind of cool to see them moving around this machine. And this is WFSB.com. I'll get the link in the description. It's a Facebook link. But there's the ground penetrating radar. They keep moving it around. They seem like they're really onto something. I don't know. But yeah. I think it would be cool if everybody had their... I mean, I'm not... You know, the DNA... People who are scared to put DNA out there are the ones that are, like, they're the people that are, what do you call it? They're the ones that are paranoid that they did something. You know, like, let's see, hold on a second. Let me make it bigger. I'm trying to figure out how I can make this a bigger shot. There we go. I think if I hit this, I can make it bigger. Right there. Now, I mean, look how low that drone got in there. Look at that. I mean, it's sort of like the, you know, it's the same theory with the cameras. Now, the CCTV. I mean, everyone's like, oh my God, the CCTV, they're just following us around. No, they don't do it that way, everybody. After a crime's committed, they go back and they can track the crime. So don't commit crimes and it won't make any difference at all to you, okay? Unfortunately, we just have too many criminals out there where I think CCTV would be amazing to have. You know, so it's weird. They just, look at all the work they're doing here. They must have, you know, the scanner must have come out. Then they keep, I'm just going to move it forward in time. You know, they're really raking off the surface and getting the radar, ground penetrating radar in there. It's going to roll it back again. Man, I'd love to see what that looks like. You know, what are they looking at? One thing that was interesting, I saw them pull off two like really flat slabs that were over here. So, alright. Alright, where's the other one? There's one more. This one's from today. Look at all the snow that popped out there. Look at that. So then it snowed the very next day. And there's that same area again. And now they've got an actual, you know, a backhoe in there. They might have a Mavic Zoom or something way better than that. But the DJI Mavic Zoom, you can actually zoom on the camera where the regular Mavic doesn't have that. Mavic 2 Pro. You know what they should be doing is have a little sleuth off to the side for gold mining. I mean, you're digging anyways. You might as well dump it in there and... Just kidding. Okay. It seems like they're actually, you know, they're interested in an act. I mean, I wonder, man, I'll be really surprised, but not, I guess not shocked. I'll be surprised if her body's here. And then I'll need somebody to tell me what they were doing for those 40 minutes that we were discussing last night. I mean, 40 minutes are missing after the time Doulos left Jennifer's house. There's about 45 minutes from the time he left the house until his red truck is then on the freeway. So, which is right there, just right down the freeway. So then you ask yourself, well, what was going on for those 45 minutes? It's weird too, because they have this one spot here where they start pulling off these really flat, like shale-like rocks, and you kind of wonder, like, what in the hell was? What were the? What was underneath there? Why would those be under the ground like that, perfectly flat? See, like right there, look. So what are those? That's kind of like what you saw in the Lori and Chad Daybell case. You know, there was these rocks covering the bodies right in front of the burn pit. So I don't know if that was just a random piece of shale type rock that was sitting there or what. And this is drone from WFSB.com. You know, it's probably just the ever-increasing technology. You know, they knew that was one of the last places he went. After that trip, he ended up right at that house. So maybe they just decided, you know what? Our best guess is it's on the property. I don't know. Or maybe they checked out cell phone technology and, you know, the newer stuff that they've got. Looked to me like it was stone. I mean, I can go back there. Let's see. Right there. Yeah, you can tell it's really heavy for him. See? And it could just be that it was... I mean, it's interesting that something that flat is underground, a piece of shale on top of mud like that. Yeah, I mean, phone pinging or whatever. I'm just moving it forward. This is a 15-minute long drone video. Be pretty. I don't think the drone would publish the video if they all of a sudden dug and an arm came out or something. If you look at another piece, another relatively very flat. I mean, that looks almost man-made, right? I mean, it's just so flat. Is that possible? Maybe there was like a little pond over there at some point. See, he's moving another stone right there. Look, see? No, please do take a cell phone if you're burying a body. Makes it a lot easier to, so. Why'd you put that up there? I don't get it. Wait, what's going on? Why'd you put that right where the guy just... What the hell? Doesn't even make any sense. Wait, are they trying to make a dam or let water run? What are they doing right here? See, the guy just cleared out that area where... Look at what? Watch this. Okay, right there, right? He's... Okay, yeah, you're clearing it out. Yep. And then 2 minutes later, he dumped the whole load right on top of that. Yeah, I was wondering if they were making a dam, is what I said. But we don't know for sure. Because there's water right here, right? But why wouldn't you leave the rock there and just build up a little pile right here? Instead, they're digging deeper. That's crazy. No, because look, he moves that big chunk out of there. And he just removed it from like right there. You mean, yeah, I guess it could be that you're trying to dig like a trench so that the groundwater that might be underneath here will run into this area. So it's not a big slop of... But see, look at that guy dumped it right on top of where he just removed the shale. I don't know, man. It's just weird. And so what are they doing now? Now they're spreading it back. What the hell are they doing? Oh, maybe that was an area that they were making so that they could look at another area. So they flattened out an area, cleared it of leaves and everything, and then once they were done with that, the crane takes a scoop from the area that they're really interested in, which just happens to be filled with water, and then dumps it over there, and then they kind of rake through it to see what's in it. Right? Because maybe this is the area where they think... I think you might be onto something there, Andrea. It's like they're those people that, hey, I know what I'll do. I'll waste all day. I'll carry the same brick back and forth, and we won't even build the wall. And now they're like, oh shit, you're being filmed. Do something that matters. Okay, now they're raking that again. He doesn't seem to be looking at anything, though. This is exactly where they just pulled out all that crap. And then the guy dumped another load on top of that. And then he... Oh, man. Wow. He's like, hey, let's, there's a drone now. Hold on. I gotta just see that again. What in the hell was that? So there he goes. So they're over there, like, shoveling stuff out of the way. And then all of a sudden, he dumps a load right on top of where they had just cleared out. And with the rake, they're putting it back. Okay, well, your guess is as good as mine. I have no clue what they're doing. Nah, it doesn't sound like they're clearing an area to go through to another area. They're clearing an area and putting dirt right back on top of the same area that they just cleared. So it could be that they cleared an area to make a flat area with no leaves. Then they're digging in another area and then looking through that. But then what's going on over here then? Like, this is where the area of interest is. A body of water filled up. Maybe it's why they think it's filled up, because it once was a grave that was dug deep, filled up. Then they're digging in there, placing it here so that they can look through it here because it's filled with water, But then why not just pump the water out or something? Yeah, I can see that. That looks like a little runoff water. Yep. But I'm wondering why they cleared that area, then put stuff back on it. That looked weird. So I think that might be it. They just created a little flat area, cleared of leaves. Although what's weird is maybe they used the ground penetrating radar first to make sure it wasn't a suspected area to check. So then after they went, yep, looks good, then they cleared it out and are making it a space where, but why is it so big? Like way over there too. Low battery warning, it said. Anyways, crazy. Who the hell knows? All right, you guys, I'm going to start on the LaSalle Street murders. I don't know how long I'm going to go tonight, but we'll see. These articles, every single article for the first week are huge. Okay, so here's the first one. All right, so this is the following day. I think it happened on the 1st. Let me turn down this music. Yep, no problem. Police baffled in 3 nice guy slangs on city's east side. 2 homicide detectives assigned full-time to the execution-style slangs of 3 nice guys on the east side faced a series of question marks today on why the grisly slang occurred. This article is December 2nd, 1971. Deputy Chief Ralph Lumpkin, head of police investigations, said statements were taken from 7 acquaintances of the 3 men last night without turning up a clue to the motive behind the murders discovered yesterday afternoon. So they were discovered on the 1st. The bodies of Robert W. Hinson Jr., 27, Robert A. Gierse, 35, and James Barker, 26. I don't know who James... I haven't really read anything about it, just sort of the headlines as I was getting all these files. And it said they were found in separate rooms of Gierse's and Hinson's home. So the Robert Hinson and Robert A. Gierse lived in a home together. And that home's right here, and it looks exactly the same. It's this house right there. Okay, Hinson and Gierse were associates. Wait, let me get back up here. They were found in separate rooms of Gierse and Hinson's home at 1318 North LaSalle, bound hand and foot with strips of bed sheets and with their throats slit. All 3 of them. Like ear to ear. Like really gruesome crap. Hinson and Gierse were associates in a newly formed company called B&B Microfilm at 4446 East 10th. And so that is right here. It's not really that far away. And I think this looks relatively the same too. It's actually in this this is it right here, 444. Well, they said 4446. That's 4448. 4446 is right there. So there must be another door on the side. Let's see. Yeah, I think there's one. Yeah, it should be one because there's rails right there. So there must be or maybe there used to be. I don't know. I can't see a door there, but there used to be a door right here. This is where they worked, though, in this building right here. And that is, let's see, about a mile away. The other individual, James Barker, he lives right here. So he must have been over there visiting. That's his house. This doesn't really play a role in the crime, but that's where he lived right there. Lumpkin said the list of blanks drawn by Detective Sergeant James Strode and Michael Profit in their preliminary investigation includes no suspects, no motive, no witnesses, no idea what kind of weapon was used, no evidence of robbery, and no signs of struggle or disturbance of any property at the victim's residence. Wow. Thanks, Lee D. The two detectives will have 6 men working with them and will report to Lieutenant Joseph McAtee. The house at the murder scene and the B&B offices were ordered sealed by Dr. Dennis Nichols, Marion County Coroner, to allow police to complete their investigation. Nicholas said an estimate the men died between 10 p.m. Tuesday and 2 a.m. yesterday. That's it. It was just a guess. He said preliminary examination of the bodies revealed they had been held with their necks stretched as if the hair had been hair and their throats slashed from ear to ear. Let's see, stretch as if by the hair. So that's exactly how I always thought Travis Alexander was killed. They literally, all 3 were killed, hands tied behind their back. It's almost like, ISIS style, right? Like literally pulled their head back to make a tight neck and then just cut them. It's really sick, And the throats were slashed from ear to ear. Let me show you these guys. Hold on. So we know who we're talking about. I'll just show you the thumbnail in a bigger way here. So that's them right there. James Barker, Robert Gierse, and Robert Hinson. These 2 guys were the residents of the house that all 3 were found in. I was just looking at this headline here. 2 detectives will have 6 men working with them and will report to Lieutenant Joseph McAtee. Where were we right here? Oh yeah, right down here. He said very smooth cuts, about 2.5 inches deep, severed windpipes, and reached the vertebrae. Wow. Of all 3 victims, indicating a very sharp instrument was used. A $500 reward for information. See, the thing is, they must have been sort of questioned first about something. Why would you need to tie them all up and that's what you're going to do at the end? So there must have been something going on for a while and then they were executed. Or you would just go in and execute them right away. Yeah, it has to be more than one person. Especially with 3 men like that. I mean, I guess if it was in the middle of the night, you could, if you were really quiet, but I doubt it. A $500 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the slayer was offered by William Waymeyer, president of General Pump Company, who is a past master of the Broad Ripple Masonic Lodge. Oh, here we go, everybody. Hinson and Gierse were recent lodge inductees, and Barker had applied for membership. Oh boy. Here we go, everybody. The good old Masons and front door unlocked. Hinson was found face down on a bed in a front bedroom. Gierse was face up on the bed in a rear bedroom, and Barker was face up on the floor of a bathroom between the other 2 rooms. All were wearing shirts, trousers, and shoes. The slayings were reported at 2:25 p.m. yesterday by John K. Carnes, 29, a business acquaintance of Hinson and Gierse, who had told police he went to the house. Maybe we'll make this sort of a multi-parter, but have different, like a segment on various shows where we go back over, the new information. Because it's almost too, There's more. I have more PDF files than the other case that we went over. I'm sure you could summarize it shorter, but I like to read all the different things that they had. Let's see. 29. A business acquaintance of Hinson and Gierse, who told police he went to the house, knocked, called, like yelled at that point. That's what they mean by called. Then entered the unlocked front door. After trying unsuccessfully to reach the two men at their place of business, a secretary, Mrs. J.T. Cole, told police the two men had told her they planned to leave the B&B microfilm office about 6 p.m. Tuesday, perhaps to return to work that night. Mrs. Cole, who had worked in the Record Security Corporation office, when all three victims were employed there. Her employers at B&B were a couple of nice guys. Carnes had trouble getting police to believe him when he called saying, "There's been a triple murder here. I couldn't believe what I saw," he said. It just wasn't human. I still can't believe it." Patrolman Michael D. Williams, who answered the police dispatcher's first call, was led by Carnes inside the house, saw the bodies, and ran out to his radio. "Send me 83, which means homicide. Send me identification. Send me a coroner. Send me superior officers. We've got a triple murder," he snapped to the dispatcher. 20 police officers, the coroner, 3 deputy coroners, and a general hospital pathologist were at the scene at one time. Lumpkin ordered the police videotape machine, never before used here at a homicide scene, to record details. Wow, so that was like the early stages of video. So they actually have a video out there somewhere of this. To record details of the slayings. It was about 7 p.m. before the bodies were removed to general for the autopsies. Lumpkin said each of the victims had $1 or more in his pockets, and all 3 victims' autos were parked outside. Hinson's 1969 Oldsmobile, Gierse's 1971 Cadillac, and Barker's 1970 Ford, which formerly was occupied by Barker, was the scene of frequent parties, I guess. Gierse was single, and Hinson was divorced and the father of a young daughter, police said. Wallace, a Kriegler 40, 200 block of South College, told police he and the 3 victims drank about a case of beer Monday night at the residence while watching television, so that's like 6 apiece, but that he hadn't seen them Tuesday night. Survivors of the victims include Gierse's brother Theodore, Gierse and a mother and sister, all of the St. Louis something or other, Hinson's father, Robert W. Hinson Sr., Barker's mother, and Mrs. Endris O. Barker. Anyways, this is, they have a map right here of where it was. We already saw where it is. So. Alright, so here we go. This is the same day in the newspaper. That's the house, but it's much different. Like for example, tree-wise, it still has all these things. Hey, thanks, Cindy Leon. We have one of those another one of those slower kind of flow nights. I think this might even be the same fence, possibly. Because if you look at the, not that one. Hold on. Let me put that over there. Get rid of that. Yeah, see how you have the slat fence? Might be a different fence though. It's hard to say. But then it used to have a an arch right there, and that's not there anymore. But you can see that, either there was a gate there or something, but there used to be an arch right there. And everything else is the same. You even have the steps right there. All these are the double pylons right there. We've got even the porch wood looks the same. And it's pretty amazing that 50 years ago. Hey, thanks, Cindy Lynn and Andrea Ruggiero Drum. All right. 3 men, their throats slit, and their hands and feet bound by sheet. See, it's weird that they would tie their hands and feet with sheets, then do that to them. That's almost like ISIS or something, I mean, that's just brutal. The victims were Robert W. Hinson. We already went through those. The blood-spattered bodies, each with gaping throat wounds, were discovered about 2:25 p.m. by John K. Carnes, 35, a business acquaintance of Hinson and Gierse. I couldn't believe what I saw. Couldn't believe it, Carnes later told police. It just wasn't human. Yep. I think this is similar other than that. It has a picture there. Yeah. Let's see. Police have begun to piece together events surrounding the slaying of 3 men who were found with their throats slashed in the home of 2 of the victims on the city near Northeast Side Wednesday afternoon. Autopsies have been ordered on the 3, but police indicated that preliminary reports of the men having been shot and hacked were probably inaccurate. The bodies were reported in very battered condition. See, there you go. And police at the scene were unable to determine whether gaping wounds in the victims' heads were caused by bullets or sharp instruments. Well, you guys figured it out. Yeah, okay, so a lot of that's repetitive. And then here's right outside the house. Mrs. Lewis Cole, 34, is spotted in spotted coat, talks to police in front of the home where 3 men were slain Wednesday in Indianapolis. Mrs. Cole, secretary to Robert W. Hinson Jr. and Robert A. Gierse, is one of the last known persons to have seen the business partners alive before their throats were slit early Wednesday. The 3rd victim, James Barker of Indianapolis, worked for the partners. So he worked for them. Okay, that's going to be repetitive. So now we're on. Yeah, so you can tell that they were pretty much tortured and then killed at the end. So it makes you think that they were trying to get something from them. And then at the end they killed them after they either got what they needed, information, or were satisfied that they found out what they needed to find out. And then they killed them. But they were either tortured for information. It's interesting that they work at a microfiche company that they started. Those you keep a lot of records in those. Maybe there was some sensitive information. I don't know. 3 men who were found murdered in an East Side home had been bludgeoned and cut ear to ear like animals in a slaughterhouse, investigators said last night. A short time before Dr. Dennis J. Nichols, Marion County coroner, disclosed that autopsies showed that although the deaths were caused by throat cuts, all 3 men had been clubbed on the head, and 2 of them had suffered skull fractures. So maybe they were knocked out first. I don't know. Hopefully. The victims, who had been gagged, probably were beaten before they were held by their hair to stretch their necks and then cut with extremely sharp weapons. Jeez. The bodies of James Barker, 26, of 1535 North Rural Street, Robert Hinson Jr. and Robert A. Gierse, 35, were found Wednesday, bound hand and foot, with strips of sheet, and in the home at 1318 North LaSalle Street. Dr. Nichols said it was impossible to determine if the men were conscious when their throats were cut. Police said yesterday that the victims' preference for low-class bars may provide a clue to their murders. Investigators also said they could not rule out the possibility that the slayings were executions or contract killings. Theodore Gierse, a brother, Robert Gierse, told police the three men got a kick out of going to bars that were out of character for their social positions. Who came here yesterday from his home? Let's see. Theodore Gierse, who came here from his home in Louisville, Kentucky, said that during one visit to his brother, he was taken to a bar on the East Washington Street that shocked him. I think Bob liked those places because they were different. He liked to think that these were once the only places he could afford to go to. When the three men went out with their many girlfriends, however, they behaved totally differently, going to formal dances and... All right, cool. Hopefully that was the Oogla Boogla freak. Yeah, thank you. When the three men went out with their girlfriends, however, they behaved totally differently, going to formal dances and good restaurants and ordering mixed drinks, the brother related. Deputy Chief Ralph F. Lumpkin, head of the Police Investigation Division, said police hope to obtain pictures of the victims, which they then can show in bars the men were known to frequent. Lumpkin said it's unlikely that robbery was a motive. Hinson and 3 $1 bills and 21 cents in his pocket, Lumpkin said. Barker had $1.42 in change in his pockets, in addition to charge cards. And Gierse had $1.11, that's kind of weird, in change and a ring in his pocket. That almost seems weird, you know? Like, isn't that possible that, like, they all had way more money than that, and it was just sort of a, hey, we'll leave you $1, you know? I mean, it's weird that $1.21, $1.42, and $1.11 in their pockets. Don't you think? I mean, you got, these guys are wealthy, and they all have this tiny little $1.21, $1.42, and $1.11. Huh. That's a little strange. More than one person probably was involved in the murder, Lumpkin said, because all three victims were large and strong. Jack Wignall, president and general manager of the Executive Health Club, where all three men worked out, said records show that each man could bench press 250 pounds 5 consecutive times. Man, that is pretty strong. Gierse was 6'2" and weighed 225 pounds. Wignall said. Barker was 6'3" and weighed 239 pounds. And Hinson was 6'2" and weighed 215. Man, so they're just stronger than shit. These guys are, and they're big. I mean, that's big for that time too, you know. That's way, you know. So now we know that there was probably a gun involved as well. There's no way in hell those guys would have succumbed to somebody holding a knife. So you know that there was people that came in. They had guns drawn. Probably 3 people. At least 2. And one of them had a gun, and then the other one tied the others. You could make an argument that there was one person, and you made one of them tie the other two up, and then... But the problem is, how would you have tied the third one up? So I think you have to have two people in this case. Because how would you have tied the third person without... You'd almost have to have them knocked out first or something. Because they're so big that they would have fought you off as soon as you put the gun down to start tying them, right? So it makes more sense that there's at least two people, I would think. No. Let's see. Yeah, these guys are massive people. Lumpkin said that if only one man was involved, he would have had to use a gun. Oh, well, there you go. They're going to say almost the same thing. Watch. Would have had to use a gun to force the victims to tie each other up. Even then, Lumpkin said, the murderer would have had to... Ah! That's hilarious. I swear to God, everybody, I didn't read this. I did not read this. That's literally the same exact same. A gun to force victims to tie each other up. Even then, Lumpkin said the murderer would have had to tie up the last guy himself. That's hilarious. Police said there was no sign of a struggle in the house. No weapon was found. Captain Raymond, a Corps head of, and if I did, I would have been smoother about it if I had read it, right? Yeah. Captain Raymond, a Corps head of, I'm not sure what Coors, oh no, it's Captain Raymond A. Coors. I don't know how you pronounce that though. Is it like Coors like the beer, or Coors, or? Yeah. Police said there was no sign of a struggle. Head of the homicide and robbery branch said the triple murder was one of the most horrifying crimes in 27 years in the department. Coors said the savagery of the slaying has shocked the entire city. Police appealed yesterday for anyone with information about the murders to call that phone number. Information will be kept confidential if the caller requests it. In addition to his throat wound, Gierse had a severe slash on his arm, Lumpkin said, suggesting that he might have put up a struggle. Theodore Gierse said he could not understand why anyone would want to kill his brother. Gierse was accompanied to Indianapolis yesterday by Ron M. Miller, a zone director for the Bell and Howell Company. Barker worked for the company, and the other two victims were former employees. Miller said Bell and Howell is considering adding to a $500 reward. Let's see. Theodore Gierse said his brother told him he provided the cash to form the company in mid-November. Hinson, a partner in the company, had money troubles and was paying his share as he went. Sergeant James M. Strode and Michael Popchef, an evidence technician, Sergeant Francis Schoppenhorst, have been assigned full-time on the case. They will be assisted on a part-time basis by Sergeant Robert J. Termenstein, Sergeant Robert Stark, and Sergeant John Morse. Let's see, does it keep going? Conference yesterday, police showed newsmen a videotape film of the inside of the house and the bodies. Wow. So the news got to see the inside there. Marion County Prosecutor Noble R. Piercy stipulated, however, that the newsmen could not report what they had seen on the film because it may be used later as evidence. Police said the film was shown to the newsmen to help them understand the brutality of the murders. Lumpkin, Strode, Popchef, Schoppenhorst, and Termenstein worked in the LaSalle Street house until early yesterday morning, dusting the entire house for fingerprints and overturning all furniture and a search for clues. Since the victims were known to hold frequent parties, Lumpkin urged persons who had been in the house to notify police so that their fingerprints can be eliminated from consideration. Lumpkin said police also will check the financial conditions of the men and their business connections to determine if blackmail or loan sharks were involved. An enraged boyfriend or husband of one of the victims' girlfriends could have led to the murder. Lumpkin said although friends of the victims said they were not known to go out with married women. Gierse was born in St. Louis and employed by Bell and Howell in microfilm work there after being graduated from high school. He moved to Chicago to work with the company in 1965-67, came to Indianapolis to work in the top management of record. All right, so this is the business. Oh, there it is. That's exactly what we were saying. See, there's a door right there. There's the stairs. Let's go back over there again. So this is the place of business right here. Still there. Looks probably exactly the same, really. See if I can still... Yeah, I think you can almost see the straight part of a door right through there, but I have to go to the next one. Yeah, so I think that's the door. So that's the same building that's in that, just brick at the time. Yeah, it's got the water, this downspouts in the same place. I think that slab looks like they smoothed it out to make it wheelchair friendly, but there used to be a step right there. But that's where their office was right there. And it's also the address, but it looks the same. Okay, here we go. Victim's aid threatened. 3 leads noted. Police said Friday they have singled out 3 persons for further investigation into a bizarre triple murder discovered here Wednesday. Their names were not revealed. Oh, I was just looking up there just now. Yeah, maybe Julie. Maybe they drugged him. I don't know. Sounds like there was just more than one person. You know, like one person would have to say, okay, everybody, drink this glass and then drug him. And, you know, I guess that could work, but I don't think that would be the case because he had to ask him. Obviously, there was some questioning. They were being tortured for a reason. Right? So it seems like there was just 2 people there and they all got to see each other. What's interesting is it sounds like they were all killed in different rooms, which is weird. Were they all interrogated separately? And at least they weren't made maybe to watch each other get killed. That's, you know, sort of a side benefit, I guess. Or I don't know if you call it a benefit or what terminology you want to use there. Deputy Police Chief Ralph Lumpkin said each suspect had a possible motive and that each was being investigated separately, even though authorities suspect more than one person was responsible for the slaying of 3 men in a home here. Okay. The victims were Robert A. Gierse, 35, Robert W. Hinson, Jr., 27, at whose home the slayings occurred, and James Barker, 26. An autopsy showed the 3 were struck several times on the side and back of the head with a blunt instrument. However, cause of death was a loss of blood after each had his throat slashed. I wouldn't be shocked if they were knocked out at the end. Like they were pummeled, and then right near the end they knocked them out, then cut them so that they weren't screaming. And that kind of thing. So, you know, they probably thought they were going to live somehow, and then at the end they knocked them out, then did that so they wouldn't yell. That's what my opinion would be. The victims were Robert A. Gierse, 35. An autopsy showed that 3 were struck several times on the side and back of the head with a blunt instrument. However, the cause of death was blood loss after they were slashed. The secretary, Mrs. J.T. Cole, 34, who has an unlisted phone number, told police she received a threatening call hours after the bodies were found. She said the caller, a man, said she would be killed. Police verified the threat, listening in on 3 subsequent threatening calls Thursday to Mrs. Cole, the mother of 7 children. So was it after the bodies were found? Okay. Police withheld information on the threats until they provided the woman and her family with security. Weird. And let's see, is that Mrs. Cole? So let me go back to that one picture. And that's her right there. I was thinking that was her. So there's Mrs. Lewis Cole, 34. This lady right here. She's the one that got the threats. You sort of wonder if there was somebody in this crowd. You know, this is right after the murder, so she's over there. And then there's somebody, you know, interviewing all these different people. And then, so how would anybody else... Yeah, that's interesting. Wow, that's crazy. That makes you think... I mean, not to be conspiratorial. Her phone number wasn't listed, right? But listen to what's going on here. Mrs. Lewis Cole, 34, is in spotted coat, talks to police in front of the home. And, of course, who's going to get her phone number in this situation? So all of a sudden, you know, she's being interviewed by police here, and they're going to say, well, let me get your number. You know, so her number is being given out at this scene here. So somebody either overheard or, you know, something. Yep, just about coffee time, everybody. I got to go get, I'm going to go take a break here for a minute. I got to go make myself something. Hold on. I'm going to change the music up for you guys.
Surfer. The whatever.
Yo. Hey, I'm back, everybody. Hey, I'm back. Hey, hey. Yeah, it's funny that there was like 1:30, and then as soon as I took my break, okay, 1:17. I mean, people are just so like, oh man, if I'm not entertained every 2 seconds, I gotta go. God, it's ridiculous. See you later. I think we finished this one, right? Yeah, they verified the threats. That was the lady. And here's all of them right here. One of the victims of a triple slaying on the east side may have walked into a trap set for him as he arrived home from work, investigators theorized yesterday. According to the theory, the victim barely had time to take off his overcoat and suit coat before he was bludgeoned. So maybe, well, let's see the rest. The victim's roommate then was hit and bound as soon as he walked in. Yeah, that makes sense that it was sort of, that's an interesting way to do it. Yeah. They're all just showing up at different times. And a friend was similarly attacked when he arrived at the house. I wonder if they made, here, you know what's interesting though, is did they make them call the other friend to come there? I mean, because if this guy was, let's just say he was first and he was attacked as he came in the door, well, he's not calling anybody. And then this guy comes in and he's attacked. And then this guy shows up, so why did he just show up? Hey, thanks, Kit Kat. What's up? Yeah. So why did he, so you wonder if they said, hey, call so-and-so, and they made him dial the number. I wonder if they checked, I'm sure they checked the phone calls. That's a good way to do it, though. It's a little bit like the Chase Merritt murder, the McStay case. I think it was something kind of like that a little bit.
What's up, Wednesday? Winking face.
Thank you. You got us to 20% of a normal night. Thanks. We got there. I actually know the numbers. Here we go. After being overcome one at a time, the victims systematically were butchered, their throats being cut ear to ear. The bodies of James C. Barker, 26. Now they're just going through the same thing. The theory was based on the positions of the victims' cars outside the house. Yep, that makes a lot of sense. The clothes they were wearing when they were killed, and conversations Gierse and Hinson had with their secretary at work Tuesday. Oh, okay, this is going to be interesting. Both Gierse and Hinson were wearing the same clothes they had worn to work the day before they were found dead. So that means they were killed after they got home sometime in the evening, indicating they were killed Tuesday night after leaving work. So that would have been I think the 30th, right? Yeah, because what day is this? This is January 20th. Doesn't say the day. Well, that's one thing. If they drank all that beer, then that means it's not what they said isn't probably how it worked. That they all just got there at different times, drank the beer, and then were confronted, unless the killers sat around and drank all the beer, right? What if they kept some of those cans? Let's see. Both Gierse and Hinson were wearing the same clothes they had worn to work the day before they were found. Judging from the positions of the cars, Gierse arrived at the house first. This guy. He also was the only one who managed to get his overcoat off before being struck. Wow, that's crazy. So that makes more sense now that they did all show up as they were coming in, because why would you have your overcoat on if you're in the house drinking beer and everything? I don't know. The whole beer thing might be a red herring at this point. We'll have to figure that part out. Barker, you want a beer now? That makes you want to have a drink? Talking about having your throats cut and knocked out on the head, and now you want a beer? Jesus. Barker's car was on the opposite side of the street from the other two men's car and headed in the opposite direction, indicating that he had not arrived at the house with his two friends. Gierse, who was the only victim who was not hit hard enough on the head to suffer a skull fracture, also was the only man to be gagged. It almost sounds like he was kind of like the main person. Isn't he the one that was also cut on the arm or something? No, so that might have been a different day then. I don't even know what day that was. Yeah, that's right. There was 4 guys. What day was that, though? Now I got to go back. Hold on. Let me see if the word beer is in this one, and we can save time. There we go. Wallace A. Krieger, 40, 200 block of, told police he and the 3 victims drank about a case of beer Monday. Oh, that was Monday. That's the day before. So the beer is irrelevant. He hadn't seen him on Tuesday. That's the day they were killed. So good. Now we can forget about the beer. It's absolutely irrelevant to the story. All right. He was just talking about how he was just there. Okay, police confirmed yesterday that Hinson and Barker were involved in a brawl last weekend at the Idle Hour Tavern. Put that one in there. This is at 3336 West 10th Street. That's a different case right there. So right there, and we'll call it what it's called. Idle Hour Tavern. I bet you that's looked exactly the same. It just looks like that. Just called something else now. It looks like probably a strip bar at this point. Okay. So witnesses told police that Hinson was jumped by another patron inside the tavern following an argument over a gambling debt and possibly a go-go girl. After Barker pulled the two apart, the fight continued outside the tavern where Hinson reportedly severely pummeled the patron. Oh, so maybe this was payback. Police said they also learned that the victims surrounded themselves with attractive women, both single and married. Deputy Chief Ralph F. Lumpkin, head of the Investigations Division, disclosed yesterday that Gierse was found in the rear bedroom wearing dark gray trousers, a red shirt with pale white stripes, and black shoes and socks. They said that the gray suit coat and black overcoat he had worn to work were hanging in the hallway closet. So he took that off, then he was ambushed. Sounds like somebody was probably, like he said, either somebody came and knocked on the door just after he hung up his jacket, or they were already in the house. The front bedroom, in, let's see, Hinson, this guy right here, the other co-owner of B&B Microfish, Hinson was found fully clothed in the front bedroom in a tan imitation suede jacket, blue and gray check trousers, blue shirt and black shoes and black socks. Barker's body, missing only a shoe, was found in the bathroom, clothed in a light tan windbreaker jacket, brown trousers, green shirt, brown socks, and a brown ankle-length shoe. Gierse's Cadillac was parked on the east side of the street, opposite the house and facing north. This would be a logical position if he drove west on 10th Street from his office at 4446 East 10th, then turned north onto LaSalle. Hinson's Oldsmobile was parked directly behind Gierse's car, as though he had driven the same route. Barker's metallic blue Mustang, however, was parked across the street from the other two cars and faced south instead of north. I'm going to mark this file here. This one's called 1204A. Hey, thanks, Michelle Nicholas. Appreciate it.
I'm late but I'm here, nerd face. Hair freaks and grey. Heart, 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 heart.
Well, good to see you. Good to see you. There we go. The position of Barker's car would be logical if he had driven on Brookside Parkway. Yeah, we already said that. Investigators theorized that although the trap was set for Gierse and possibly Hinson, also Barker probably was an unplanned victim. See, that's what I was thinking. He's just some guy. So they probably didn't call him. When I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, he seems like he doesn't live there. How would they have even known he was going to be there? I guess if they had him call, but then they would have checked that out. Mrs. J.T. Cole, 34, secretary for Hinson and Gierse at their business and B&B microfilm service company, said Barker had called the office about, okay, this is crazy, about 4 p.m. Tuesday, that same day. So Barker called the office, 4 p.m. Tuesday. It says the day before the slaying, but you don't really, that's just the day before they were found, not the slaying. You don't know that. So this is Saturday the 4th. So it would have been 3rd Friday, 2nd Thursday, 1st Wednesday, and then the 31st on Monday. So the Tuesday, they were found on the 1st. Let's see. 4th, 3rd, 2nd. Yeah, they were found on 1st on Wednesday. And that means that they were killed on the 31st Tuesday. So that means the same day they were killed, likely. Could have been early in the morning, for sure. After asking to speak to whichever man was the least busy, Barker talked with Hinson for several minutes as Mrs. Cole continued with her work. Mrs. Cole said it was not unusual for Barker to call because he was a good friend. Let's see. Asked to speak to whichever man was least busy. Barker talked with Hinson for several minutes. Mrs. Cole said it was not unusual for Barker to call because he was a good friend of both men. Then about 5:15 p.m. or 5:30 p.m., Hinson and Gierse told Mrs. Cole not to wait for them because they were going to catch up on some work in the office. Okay, so at 5:15, Hinson and Gierse told Mrs. Cole not to wait for them. Oh, okay, yeah, like she could go home because they were going to continue to work. When Mrs. Cole left for home about 5:30 p.m., both men were busy working. Sometime the next morning, Miss Cole received a call at the office from John K. Carnes, 29, a business acquaintance and friend of all three men, who later found the bodies. Mrs. Cole told Carnes she had not seen Hinson and Gierse all morning. They said they were going to work late last night, she told Carnes, so maybe they're going to come in a bit late this morning. After receiving several more calls from the partners, Miss Cole began to wonder where they were. Although not unduly alarmed, she telephoned their home, but there was no answer. Carnes called again about 2 p.m. and said he might drop by their house after checking several places where they might be. After 2:25 p.m., Carnes went to the house and found the door ajar and called police after finding the bodies. Mrs. Cole told the Indianapolis Star last night that she remembered Hinson and Gierse telling her Tuesday that they definitely would not stay at the office past 8 p.m. Okay, so after that, maybe they went out to a bar, maybe they went and, who knows what they did. The men left no sandwich wrappers or beer cans, she noted. If they stayed past 8 p.m., they probably would have gone to a nearby store for carry-out food, she said. Mrs. Cole also recalled a call Wednesday morning from a man she didn't know. When informed that the partners were not in the office, the caller said, "I want to surprise them. Don't even tell them I called." Huh. That's interesting. Maybe that was somebody at a higher level making sure that the job was done, that they weren't at work. Police appealed again yesterday for anyone who saw the victims Tuesday night to call the homicide branch. Police said yesterday that Mrs. Cole received 4 threatening telephone calls Thursday night. A policeman listening in on the last 3 calls and guards were assigned 3 calls, and guards were assigned to protect her house. Police began showing pictures. You sort of wonder if the same person who made the calls to... Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Because Mrs. Cole is the secretary. She's the one that was called at work. I wonder if they asked if the voice was similar to the one that called to work. Police began showing pictures of the men at various taverns yesterday in an effort to determine which bars they frequented. All 3 like to go to low-class bars. Business connections of the victims also are being probed, as are a stack of files and microfilm found in the garage of the LaSalle Street house. An examination of the house yesterday by Sergeant James M. Strode and Michael Propchev turned up a long list of phone numbers and addresses of friends, both male and female. Queries among neighbors revealed that it was not unusual for men and women to enter and leave the house at all hours of the night. Mrs. Rada Williams, 66, of 1322 North LaSalle Street, a widow, said Hinson and Gierse weren't angels, but weren't bad fellows either. Let me see where that would have been. That must be the next house over. Let's see. That's the next one. There it is. So just right there, that's the neighbor. Rhoda Williams. Another neighbor who declined to be identified said she heard a noise about 3 a.m. Wednesday that may have been a car door or trunk slamming, she said. She was too scared to investigate the noise, however. So that's... let's see. Man. I think I'm just going to read this page here and just end the show. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to... go back and put these all in his notes, because there's a lot of stuff that I got to get in there. I don't want to get too far and have to go through too much stuff. Yeah, it took me all day to get all these files together, so I'm going to have to extend it out. Hinson and Gierse met in Chicago more than 5 years ago. So Chicago, it's kind of a gang place. Another neighbor who declined to be identified said she heard a noise about 3 a.m. So that's another neighbor. She said she was too scared to investigate. Hinson and Gierse met in Chicago more than 5 years ago. While working for the Bell and Howell Company shortly afterward, Gierse came to Indianapolis to manage commercial microfilm services. Hinson joined Gierse about 6 months later. Then in 1968, the two men began working for Record Security Corporation. Hinson left to form B&B Microfilm about 2.5 months ago and was joined by Gierse about 7 weeks ago. Both Hinson and Gierse were divorced. Gierse, who was divorced in 1962, had no children. His wife is believed to be remarried and living in Memphis, Tennessee. Hinson had a young daughter who lives with her mother in Indianapolis. Barker was born at Clarksburg, West Virginia, and spent most of his life in Chicago. It's interesting that you have a Chicago connection. An Army veteran, Barker was graduated from Wright Junior College at Chicago. Services for Barker and Gierse will be held today in the Grindsteiner Funeral Home. Services for Barker will be held at 1 p.m. and the services for Gierse will be held at 1:30 p.m. Services for Hinson will be held at 2 p.m. Blah 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 blah. All right. Well, I'm gonna put that more notes. I just want to see how long these are. Okay, I'll just do these last ones. But right now we're on one of the slowest. We're the second lowest numbers on the super chats since we've been doing this. So I'm always wondering, are these? I don't think people like these kind of shows. I think there's a lot that do like them, but in general, they're not really. They don't enthuse people. Like, it's crazy. You guys all here's what's crazy, everybody, is you guys all say you hate the politic nights, but when I've done the politic nights, that's when it's like, and everybody gets excited and all that kind of stuff. So that's what's sort of this weird dilemma, It's a weird dilemma. Yeah, I know a lot of you actually are into the actual crime stuff, but it's strange, it's a strange dilemma. Like, why does a night talking about politics do so much better than this? Can you guys figure that part out? Two times in a row that I talked about politics, it was way more enthusiasm for, supporting the channel and the charities that we're doing. Trying to figure that part out. No, there wasn't more people. Yeah, it's like... Yeah. Anyways, I'll go over these and then I'm going to end the show. Too many hours spent. Hinson may be key to mystery. See, I'm just honest with you guys, you know. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Too bad. I'm going to tell you what the deal is. Because I got to keep up the same pace for us to be able to do the same amount of money that we're donating each month. And have it be worth it for me, too, at the same time. Right. Hinson may be key to mystery slaying of young salesmen. Links between the knife slaughters of 3 East Side businessmen and the mysterious unsolved murder of a young Indianapolis salesman whose body was found floating in Eagle Creek near Zionsville last March were revealed by homicide detectives last night. Links between the knife slaughter of... Wonder what that is. Detectives said that at least 2 of the East Side victims were acquaintances of John C. Terhorst, 25, had business contacts with him and may have known him socially. Terhorst's body, with 2 bullet wounds in the head, was found after he presumably had gone to Woodruff Place to meet a person who had expressed interest in his 1966 black Corvette. The car never has been found. The possibility that Bobby, a mysterious caller who telephoned Terhorst's apartment shortly before the slaying, was one of the triple death victims, Robert W. Hinson Jr. 26. Wait, hold on. The possibility that Bobby, a mysterious caller who telephoned Terhorst's apartment shortly before the slaying, was one of the triple death victims, Robert W. Hinson Jr. 27, was being investigated. The information caused the theory... Oh, I see. There's a Bobby and then a Robert. The information caused the theory that Hinson may have been the initial victim of the triple slaying because he knew Terhorst and may have known the terrorist killer, or it's Terhorst killers or killers, and the motive. You see, the information caused the theory that Hinson may have been the initial victim of the triple slaying because he knew Terhorst. Okay, so that changes your theory about how they walked into the house. The body of Hinson was found Wednesday along with the bodies of James C. Barker, 26. The legs and arms of the 3 men had been bound by sheets and their throats were slashed from ear to ear. Detective Sergeants Michael Popcheff and James M. Strode, who investigated the Terhorst murder, said yesterday they had questioned Hinson and Gierse at the LaSalle address because they had known the dead salesman. Wow, so they actually talked to them. Terhorst, as a salesman for the Chicago office of DuPont Demers Company, had sold microfilm supplies to Hinson and Gierse when they had worked for Record Security Corporation. They added that it was believed Terhorst and the 2 men also had gone and socially during the course of their business relations. Barker, who also had worked at Record Security about the same time, also may have met Terhorst socially, the detective said. Terhorst's picture is being circulated along with photographs of the slain trio in taverns in East Side victims were known to frequent. Terhorst's former roommate, John Culligan, had told police earlier that a mysterious caller had telephoned Terhorst's apartment twice. See, it's weird, another mysterious caller, right? On the Saturday that he disappeared so when did he disappear? After he presumably had gone to... It's like somebody called him to get him somewhere and then shot him. But maybe they used a gun in his case because he was at a place where it wasn't going to, make a lot of sound. Or it would make sound, but it wouldn't... it was isolated, maybe. Terrorist. Wow, look at that. It's Jay Case to save the day, for God's sake. What's going on, Jay?
What's up, boys and girls? How's the freak fam? Where who's is a boy
I sent you an email, Jay, the other day, or I don't even, was that today or the other day? I can't remember. Man, that did make me jump out of my seat. I'm glad I wasn't on camera again. Okay, because if I was on camera, I would have that same look that I had the other day when the voice started talking in my ear. Yeah, thank you very much, Jay. That was very kind. By the way, that was the greatest inauguration speech in the history of mankind, according to the media. I mean, it was incredible. Oh, and they're such a loving couple, not unlike the Trump family. That was, you know, if you're trying to create unity in the country, that was really some disturbing shit that I was watching. But anyways, hey, thanks, Jay. Really appreciate it. Yeah, because everybody that just one side note, what was said today was that basically everybody who voted for Trump are they are white supremacists, even though he got the largest amount of black people to vote for a Republican in years. So I'm trying to figure out how that works. But yeah, really crazy shit. Why doesn't people just, you know, if you really want to have unity, be unifying in your voice, okay? That works. It really didn't work. People who don't realize that didn't notice those things today. You know, that's the thing. It was just so beautiful to them. But for everybody else, it was like, yeah, Jesus, man. Again, you should listen to Greg Gutfeld's monologue on The Five. Unbelievable. All right, where were we on this one? The body of Hinson was found Wednesday along with the bodies of James C. Barker. Okay, there we go. It's believed terrorists and the two men also had gone to socially during. Okay, that's right. So we're down to that part where they were talking about weird calls that came in. Terror's former roommate John Colligan had told police earlier that a mysterious caller had telephoned Terror's apartment twice on the Saturday that he disappeared to ask about the Corvette. The second time the caller said, "Tell him Bobby called," police were told. Tell him Bobby called. Yeah, but why would the other Bobby call him to... You know, Robert and Bobby. I mean, come on. How common is that name? I mean, you know, so there's a lot of Bobs and Roberts and, you know. Oh, you're on the mend? What, do you get sick or what happened? Oh, it says up there, biceptal tendon repair. Oh, really? Wow. That must be a weird one, because we use that muscle all the time. How'd you end up doing that? Lifting some weights? Yeah, jeez. Yikes. Ugh. That's a weird one. I bet you that takes forever to heal. I mean, after you get the surgery, you probably have to let it heal and then slowly start using that again. I mean, it must freak you out to ever do a curl again. You know, like at some point, do a curl and it's all of a sudden, oh man, I don't know how much oh God, I'm going to do it again. You know, make you paranoid. I would. 4 months. Wow. That's crazy. Jesus. That's ridiculous. Well, I have 6 months to a year to get back to normal, but I can feel it. I actually, the last month or so, I feel the light at the end of the tunnel. That I'm going to be able to use those same muscles again at some point. Because they work. They're just weak, but they're working. Yeah. All right. Detectives are investigating whether Hinson ever had wanted to buy a Corvette. Oh, so now they want to know if it is the Robert or Bob, and if he ever wanted to buy a Corvette. Although they stress that the East Side victims were not suspects in the Terror Horse murder. Did Hinson know who killed Terror Horse? One detective asked. Evidence from the position of the bodies and the location of the victims' parked autos tend to support the theory that Hinson might have been the intended victim in the LaSalle Street slangs. I thought it was one of the other two. Oh, no, that's right. But no, there's Robert Gierse. Yeah, Robert Hinson. That's right. He is one of the owners. Okay, yeah. From the position of the cars, police deduced that Gierse arrived at the house first. He also was the only one of the trio who managed to remove his overcoat. So it's almost like when he got home, somebody came behind, knocked on the door quickly after that, or was just, yeah, they must have waited. He got into the house, took off his overcoat, and then there was a knock at the door. Then those people busted in, then waited for the other two to come in because they were killed wearing their jacket. If Gierse was the intended victim, why didn't the slayer or slayers leave before the two other victims arrived? Because, well, they were trying to get information. That's why. I can answer that. They obviously tied them up, beat them to get information out of them. Instead, according to one theory, Gierse was knocked out before Hinson came home. That's it's a theory. But you don't know that. I mean, they were beaten in the head, but you don't know when the hit came. I think, my opinion is, they were all three were tied up at the same time and were alive at the same time. And then they were asking them questions to try to get some answers. And then they, may have knocked some out and right before they were killed so that they wouldn't scream when they were being killed. Yeah, that must make your work kind of difficult. Yeah. Hinson and Gierse own B&B Microfilm Service Company, which lends credence to the theory the two men might have known Terror Horse. Both were both here and at Chicago. 3 more detectives have been assigned to the triple slaying case full time because Popchef and Strode worked 22 straight hours Friday and don't know when to quit. The additional detectives are Lieutenant Joseph C. McAtee and Sergeant Robert J. Turmenstein. More than 85 persons attended the services held 30 minutes apart. About half the crowd were attractive women described as acquaintances. Yeah, it sounded like my brother's funeral. So were heard at the detectives surveyed the crowd, viewing the bodies of the 2 men surrounded by 15 floral arrangement. Okay. I have a floor layout here. Where is that? Yeah. Here's a sample. So that must be the door that you enter the house. And Hinson was in the first room here. Barker was on the bathroom floor. And then Gierse was on the back bedroom bed right there. back porch, kitchen, dining room. So, you know, it's this house right there. So that's basically the layout of the house right there. It's even narrow like they have it in the picture. So that's Hinson. Hinson and Gierse are the two people that ran the B&B micro film company, and then Barker worked with them somewhere else. I guess they were still friends. Maybe he worked a little bit with them now or at that time too, but he didn't live at this house. These two guys did. It's okay, Jay. I'm just doing my thing at this point. Okay, this is a short one, so maybe I can do this one. Yeah, I mean this one, let me just show you guys what this looks like, okay? Look at how many files are in this. Look. See, the other day I scrolled a little extra down, but now it's even going on to the next page, and right now we're right here. So these are all, I have them in order. See how the dates go? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. And then they start getting further and further apart, and we start getting years later. Yeah. So that's why I'm not sure I'm going to keep on. Let's see. How about if I get through the... How about I'll get through the 8th, okay? There we go. Hey, thank you, Jessica Schubach. I mean, Jessica Schubach. Tonight on NBC. All right. So we'll stop after the 8th here. I'm going to go right. So that's right from here. All right. So they... Lie test planned in slangs. Police plan a series of lie detector tests in the next few days in connection with the triple slang. Oh, God. Oh, that scared the hell out of me again.
Chewbacca? Oh, I'll be
Chewbacca if you want me to be. All right. Officers working on the case may have uncovered a link between the 3 businessmen found dead in a middle-class home here last week and the unsolved slaying of an Indianapolis salesman whose body was found in Eagle Creek. Yeah, see, I wonder if, they shot him because he was out in the middle of nowhere. Detectives said John C. It's almost like these people worked at a microfiche company and maybe had filmed something, were asked to, whatever, microfiche, whatever the hell, kind of a document that had something on it that they were nervous that they may have looked at or something. I don't know. Detectives said John C. Terhorst, 25, the salesman, may have been acquainted with the 3 found dead. Meanwhile, arrangements for the lie detector tests were underway. Deputy Chief Ralph Lumpkin of the Indianapolis Police Department said he was making arrangements for tests last Saturday. Suspects cleared. Captain Raymond Coors, head of the Homicide and Robbery Branch of IPD, said one of the 3 individuals authorities said were suspects last Friday was cleared of involvement in the deaths. The investigation began last Wednesday when the bodies of Robert C. Gierse, 35, Robert W. Hinson, and James C. Barker were found in a house where Gierse and Hinson lived on the east side of Indianapolis. Each man's throat was slashed by a sharp instrument believed to be a machete-type knife. Their hair was pulled back. Their hands and feet were bound. An autopsy Friday showed each had been struck several blows on the head. The blows were hard enough to fracture both Hinson and Barker's skulls. However, the autopsy report said death was due to a loss of blood. Police theorized late in the week that the killer or killers waited at the house for the men who were attacked individually as they arrived. Okay. Business giants were customers of slain men. The microfilm business owned by two of the three men slain here last week listed such business giants as American Fletcher National Bank and Trust Company, Indiana National Bank, and Blue Cross Blue Shield among its accounts, police said. We want to know how and when they acquired such blue chip accounts, and we want to know whether anyone else had money in their business, said Deputy Police Chief Ralph M. Lumpkin. The business B&B microfilm service was started November 1st by Robert A. Gierse, so they were killed, like 2 months after the business started. 35, and Robert W. Hinson, Jr., 27. They and a business associate, James Barker, 26, were found slain last Wednesday at an East Side home shared by the Gierse and Hinson. In an investigation of the firm's business activities, police learned there is no record of B&B having filed incorporation papers with the Secretary of State, nor well, it's kind of new though, right? I mean, Gierse was the actual owner of the firm, police said, and Hinson reportedly had no financial interest. However, Lumpkin said detectives are trying to determine whether the company might have some silent partners who could have helped build up its accounts. Lumpkin said it will take about 3 days for detectives to go through the firm's tons of papers and records. Police said Gierse and Hinson may have made enemies through the success of their new business. They may have angered someone by gaining accounts, Lumpkin said. I don't know if somebody would kill somebody. I mean, unless, it's all about money, right? So you kill them and you jump in and say, hey, we do the same thing. Can we get your accounts? It just seems kind of... I think this mentions Blue Cross, AFNB, Indiana National listed as customers of the firm. Yeah, how three men slashed to death last week built up an extensive microfilming business, including numerous blue chip accounts, since last November 1st was the subject of intensive police investigation. I mean, that's a good question, right? I mean, how do you pick up an account like, Blue Cross, for God's sakes? You're a new company. Oh, yeah. It could be that maybe there weren't other people doing it. I don't know. But, I mean, they were their clients, right? I mean, Blue Cross isn't laundering money. Man, if you had that account, you wouldn't need to do anything like that. We want to know how and when they acquired such blue chip accounts. The business B&B Microservice Company 4446 East had a bunch of blue chip companies. Let's see. Prior to forming B&B about last November, Gierse and Hinson had worked about 5 years for the Records Security Corporation. So they learned how to do this, so they said, well, hell, we can do it ourselves. There's a lot of people that do stuff like that. Why not? Let's see. A girlfriend of Hinson who started dating him around November 1st reported in an interview yesterday that whenever she went out with Hinson, Gierse and Barker came along. They were like the Three Musketeers. When she had a date with Hinson, they usually went to a reputable restaurant for dinner and frequently stopped at the LaSalle Street house afterwards. The woman asking that her name be withheld said that she never saw Gierse and Barker with the same girl twice. Also, she recalled they invariably carried a drink, usually beer, but also like scotch and gin. She recalled that on one occasion, Hinson appeared moody and depressed, and she asked him, "What's bothering you? What's on your mind?" "I've got a lot on my mind," Hinson replied. "Can I help you?" she asked. "No, these are problems that I'll work out by myself," she quoted him as responding. The woman said that Hinson quickly made it clear he did not want to discuss any personal or business problems with her. She described all three as gentlemen who were well-mannered, never used four-letter words, and were immaculate in their dress and personal appearance. She also noted that the three dated often during the week and always socialized on Saturday, but had a rule they never dated on Friday nights. She was unable to explain the reason. Probably just party night for the guys. You know, hey, we are going to hang out together as friends on Friday nights, party and have some drinks. She described Hinson as anti-marriage, having recently been divorced. She said he was opposed to a remarriage, and told me, "Don't get involved. This is all for fun." Investigators yesterday also were checking a report that Hinson and Barker once lived in a house in the 700 block of North Riley Avenue. Police received a report that the Riley Avenue house was burglarized the night before the triple murder. Oh. Wow. So, wow, like they were looking for them, but they had the wrong address or something. Let's see where that is. 700 North Riley Avenue. Okay, so it's somewhere on this block right here. Where is that? Okay. Investigators yesterday also were checking a report that Hinson and Barker, so that's one of the partners and then the friend that isn't one of the owners, once lived in a house, and so there you have Hinson again, right? So Hinson is and Barker are the only, so now it narrows it down. If they were going after Hinson, at least he did live at both places. Could be Barker too, right? Police received the report that the Riley Avenue house was burglarized the night before the triple murders and that its telephone line was cut. No official report of the incident was given to police. Well, how do you know about it then? Police have learned that the LaSalle Street house was purchased from an Indianapolis couple who now live in Jackson County. The residence was bought by Gierse, who is believed to have assumed a $9,200 mortgage and took ownership October 5th, 1970. Lumpkin said the FBI has been notified of the case and has been asked for any information concerning similar slayings in the nation. He emphasized, however, that the FBI has not entered the case officially. Deputy Police Chief Ralph Lumpkin heading the investigation of the throat/slaying of 3 Indianapolis men, said the probe now is centered on the microfilm business. Police said the 2 men have made enemies through the success of their business. They may have angered someone by gaining accounts. Yep. The victims found last Wednesday were beaten. I think this is similar to that other article. Could be identical. All right, so now we're on to the 8th. Man, you guys are so quiet in there. Yeah, so now it's getting, now they see 3 men parked outside. Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna put some eye drops in. I wish it was. That's not a bad idea though, Jay. Maybe I should have one shot. I'm gonna go do one. Hold on. I literally did put eye drops in. My eyes at night get so dry, like they get dry where they're stuck together, and I have to like peel them, and then they start hurt. They hurt every night. They hurt a lot, so I have to like pull them open and then put the drops in. Then it feels a lot better. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe I have like Sjogren's or some shit. You know? I don't know. They've got to have something to help that, make that fix. No, to fix it. Make that fix. Jeez, what terrible English. Hold on a second. Okay, wow, that was fun. little tequila. I use refresh eye drops. I have those. My mom has that Sjogren's, I think. So, what sucks is I get about all the same things my mom has. I have. It's like, ah, jeez. You have to tell her that there was three men found in 3 separate rooms. Man, we've only repeated that 47 times already. Yeah, but it's weird in the middle of the night it gets like that. I don't know. I already used the refresh eye drops. It doesn't last. You take it and then about an hour later it just goes, you know, like, I don't know what the deal is. Like, what's the difference when I'm awake? There must be different tears when you're awake as opposed to when you're sleeping that your eyes create. Because when I'm awake, I don't really get too bad during the day at all, but at night, yep. All right, anyways, I'm on to this part now. See, now a neighbor says that she saw 3 men parked near the house. So there's one for each guy. Crazy, huh? Yeah. Gamma schmamma. You know, whatever. Those don't work. They don't work for what I got. Oh yeah, do you get dry eyes every night, Debbie? Yeah, that's right. Alright, a dirty cream-colored car containing 3 men was parked across the street from the east side home of Robert A. Gierse and Robert W. Hinson, Jr. the night before the bodies of the 2 businessmen and companion were found. Hey, by the way, you guys were lucky. I did the show earlier tonight at 7 because the Blazer game was postponed because one of the Memphis Grizzlies, too many players had to quarantine for them to come up with an 8-player team. Good times. Detectives saying the mystery car may provide a clue to the unsolved triple murder. A woman who lives near the Gierse Hansen home at... Yeah, I'm glad you didn't give the address out like you normally do. Notice the car parked at the east curb across from the house. Let's see. Yeah. So when you say east curb, yeah, so right over here. Well, that makes sense. Car parked with 3 men. Not care. Hold on. She said it was parked with the lights off, and this was at 7 p.m. on that day, the Tuesday. Okay, that's crazy. So it's 7 p.m. to Tuesday, which, you know, kind of fits when you'd get home. Remember, they worked a little late, you know, and they wouldn't stay past 8. So, you know, easily you could see them getting home around 7. She said it was parked with the lights off when she drove by, and it was still there when she returned home 20 minutes later. So it was waiting. So this is like 7:20 now. There were 3 white men inside the car. 2 in front and 1 in the back. But she could not describe them or give a detailed description of the vehicle, saying she did not pay too much attention at the time. Right. And nobody would. You know, it's amazing she even remembered that. The woman, who asked to remain unidentified, because if she had told us her name, we would have put her address in there, causing her to get in trouble, did not recall whether there were any other cars parked by the house at that time. Police said Gierse, Hinson, and James Barker, 26, 1535 North Rural Street, were slain between 8 p.m., which is only an hour or 45 minutes after that. I know, it's crazy. I found a couple good ones lately, Jamie, haven't I? This one's a lot way more well known than the Krutz case. Okay, but the Krutz case was very interesting. This one is very interesting too. I mean, it just keeps on going. There are all kinds of stuff that they were looking at over the years. Yeah, well, I think what happened is when the first guy got home, he went into the house, took his coat off, then one of them knocked, and then maybe the 2 kind of went to the side of the building, then they all sort of bum rushed through the door once it was open, tied him up, and then they waited. And then they, you know, just like they said, as each one came in, they did the same thing. Yeah, it does feel like it definitely is. It's like a hit, but they were also trying to get information. Don't you guys think? Because if it was truly a hit, wouldn't they have just killed each one? Well, actually, I guess that's totally possible, isn't it? Let me go back to that. Hold on. Let me go back to the... where is that damn thing? I think that they could have killed them each. I mean, we don't know how quickly one came after the other. Where the hell's the room? I had it in here. By the way, there's another image right there. Look, that's the house. A lot clearer picture. There's the big tree that's out front. I think that's the secretary right there, if I remember right. Let's go back. Remember the jacket right there. Let's just see. No, I think it was actually a different one. That was... No, it's not her. Let's see. Where the hell is the room layout? I had it. I'm just kind of wondering if each one was sort of, as they came in, were led back. Nah, forget it. I'm not even going to bother. It can't be. Why would you tie them up if that's the case? I think they were all alive together at one point. That's my opinion. Yeah, I think they were all together. Because there's no reason that you would tie them up. The first guy would have came in, knock him over the head, cut his throat, put him in the back bedroom. Next guy comes in, boom, 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 boom. But that's not how it went. They were all tied up, and I think they were all alive together at the same time, and they were being questioned. Okay. Police said Gierse, Hinson, and James. Okay. The following morning, the throats of all three men were slit from ear to ear. Investigators plan to show the women photos of various makes and models of cars. Police believe it is possible someone else may have noticed the vehicle in the neighborhood. Investigators also revealed yesterday that both the front and rear doors of the house were ajar when the bodies were discovered. Yes. It's interesting that the front door would be. John K. Carnes, a business acquaintance of Gierse and Hinson, told police that the front door was ajar when he went to the house last Wednesday afternoon and found the bodies, the hands and feet bound by sheets in different rooms. When police went to the house, they found that the rear door also was ajar. As a team of detectives continued their investigation, concentrating on the new extensive microfilming business Gierse and Hinson had built up since approximately November 1st, 2 months, a complicated picture of job switches and unusual business associates began to emerge. The picture involves embezzlement, the background of 3 murder victims in Chicago. That's right. There's actually 3 other people that... there's another case where 3 guys were killed in Chicago right during the same time frame. The picture involves embezzlement, the background of the 3 murder victims in Chicago. There's another case, though, that I'll be discussing. And the mysterious unsolved murder last March of a young Indianapolis salesman with whom... Let's see. With whom... That doesn't make sense. With whom building a dark room? What the... Just a second, let me make sure. This is... Okay, December 8th. I don't know how that fits. With whom building a new darkroom in 1969, he used equipment he bought from Terrahorst, and Terrahorst helped Gierse set up the project. Terrahorst had been shot twice in the head, presumably after he had gone to Woodruff Place to meet a person who had expressed interest in buying his car. So he was basically hit as well, right? But his car hasn't been found, so that could have been an isolated incident where somebody just wanted the car. I wonder, though, wouldn't it be interesting if the car that he was killed in was the car that was used with the 3 men in it? So what if they killed this guy to get his car, then used that car to wait out in front of Gierse's house? That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? Terrahorst also had a link with Chicago and did all 3 victims of last week's murder, as did all 3 of them. Terrahorst was a sales representative for E.I. DuPont. As a team, detectives continued their investigation, concentrating on the new extensive microfilming business. Let's see. So I think this is very similar to that last one because it's talking about switching. A spokesman for Blue Cross Blue Shield said the insurance company had done about $2,500 in business with B&B. That's a lot. That's like, $10,000 now. Starting an account with the new firm about November 1st. The spokesman said the firm has a duplicate computer file which will provide a list of all claimants to be paid, and there will be little, if any, delay in issuance of claim checks. I'm not sure what that even means. Let's see what this one is. Anyways, I got to the 8th. I got to the 8th right now. What do you guys think? You know, you guys, I really appreciate if you guys could comment more in the comment sections, you know, and let people know what you were thinking, start up a conversation. You know, having 10 comments on a show, I don't know if it's because the topic is so boring, or, you know, like you get these people, they create other channels that have, it's just ludicrously, that's the same stuff every freaking show, and then they have 450 comments. So I'm trying to figure out why that doesn't happen on my videos. Is it because it's too thorough? That's it, everybody. There's just nothing to ask. By the time we're done watching Gray's show, we know everything. I think that's it. So let me just show you guys what's coming up, though. Look at this thing. Look at that. I mean, that's literally an entire page in a newspaper. That's coming up. That's like down the road. That's tomorrow. Well, it's on January 9th. No, it's actually, let's see, it's the next year, January 9th. So only about a month later. But look at this thing. See that? That's an actual, and then that isn't even where it ends. We're talking about the next, there's another page in the paper. And so this is the next page. And I think it basically is this whole segment down to like right there. So you had that whole first page and then everything to right there. Okay. So yeah, there's a lot more to do here. I mean, this is like, it was a huge story back then. 50 years ago. I just thought I'd let you know that this is coming up. Right here. Just not that one. Hold on. That's the this sucker. Some new evidence uncovered. And then it just goes on and on. I think this is almost like it could be a recap of some sort. Yeah, I'm sure this one will have more evidence in it. But I mean, still, this is back. This is only a month, 5 weeks after the murder, right? Okay, now we know. Yellow Oldsmobile. Oh, yes. All right, everybody. This is going to get really detailed here coming up. Unfortunately, I wish this was about the Watts case, you know. Because then we'd have 600 people watching. Oh, my God, it was a one with it. Okay, but everybody, this is an unsolved case. So it should be interesting. Yep, no Watts. Wow, I mean, there's a lot more in this one. Look at this one. According to witnesses, Hinson had been considering had paying considerable attention to an attractive off-duty go-go girl. At one point, he put his hand on her. When a man objected, there were harsh words and Gierse, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. Yee! But look how far away that is. Okay, so we're right there. I think we should be able to... Let's see how big these are. You can see them over here to the side. Let me... So that one's pretty big. It just goes... It's like this and like that. And then this one is that. That's not very big. That one is only that big. This one, pretty big. FBI steps in. Executive killing link. Yeah, yep. So there we go. No link found in murders. We might be able to get to that. Boom. Boom. There you go. Short. Not too big. And then the big long one. Alright, there you go. So we could probably get to that one tomorrow. I didn't just type in please support the channel with PayPal. That's one of my bots. I should tell the bot, hey, take the night off, huh? Yeah, so what do you guys think? Hitman? I don't think it's going to be something where a guy put his hand on a girl at a bar. Because why would you kill all three of them identical, you know, to each other, with hands tied behind the back, feet tied? Sounds like they were trying to get some information from one of them, or anybody that would provide it. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's definitely somebody was trying to, you know, we don't know what the hitman reasoning. It's not a hitman though. It was like a hit squad. It's kind of weird that there's three of them now, right? You know, if it was a hitman, show up with a silencer, ding, 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 call it a day. But whoever these three people were, they were trying to get information from them. Because they were all tied up and then beaten, then killed. So they were trying to get something. You know, you sort of wonder, did they see something maybe they shouldn't have seen on the microfilm? Something like that. Yeah. Like what Shelley said, I haven't thrown that out the window yet. And don't look it up. Do not send me anything. Don't send me links saying, hey, Gray, hey, I found this one. Just wait for, let's just, do it at the same time, okay? Because the story's out there. It's like, there are videos. There's, even a YouTuber made one. Okay? I won't read it either if you send it to me, so. Right. I think, like I said, I think it was like this. They were tied up in the house. Then, just before their throats were slit, somebody came up behind them and pounded them in the head with something to knock them out. Then they cut their throats, and then they left the house. They didn't want any... It made it quiet that way. They said, keep it down or we're going to blow your brains out. So they kept it quiet. They did the torturing thing. They asked for information. They didn't get it. Then, boom, knocked them out in the head. And then... cut their throats. Because that way they wouldn't scream or yell or do anything. There's neighbors all over them. Look at this house. Look at this thing. I mean, I don't think you could pack houses in tighter than that. Well, maybe in New York or something. But look at that. There's like 5 feet between them. See? And it's all along on both sides, and I'm sure it's looked like this forever. All these homes are the same, you know, they're right around that same time frame. So you would have wanted to make it quiet. What people are hilarious? What are you talking about? Oh, you mean the ones that want to watch Morphew every 2 minutes? I don't know if you guys are even still here. There's no conversation going on. So, all right, everybody. Hey, make sure that you wear your masks, maintain your social distancing, all that kind of thing. Let me do the shutdown.
All right. Thank you to Zozo, Andrea Rogero Drum, Kim Young, Ethna Cotton, maybe Sunshine upgraded their membership, Indigo Eyes, Lee D, Cindy Lynn, Andrea Rogero Drum, Lee D, Susanna Macula Padre, Kit Kat, Michelle Nicklaus, Jay Case, Jessica Schubach.
All right. Awesome. Anyways, are you guys interested in going over that tomorrow? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, you know, I just noticed that these kind of things they don't seem as they don't garner the same enthusiasm in the super chat realm. So they make me nervous doing them. It's scary. Like if Jay didn't show up, then I mean, there's a lot of you that, you know, did it, but it's like without that, it would have been a quarter of a normal night. And it's been like that on a few of these shows with the series. So maybe in your brains, what is it that makes it so it's like that on those particular shows? You ever ask yourself that? You know, I got to figure out what the magic formula is. Do I just throw myself in prison? Yeah, I'm not. Missing persons cases are the same. There's no difference. You know, they're all the same. Yeah, maybe it's that. I don't know. Yeah, they're more interesting. Maybe, yeah, I got to make them less interesting. That's it, Susanna. You got the magic recipe there. Yeah, wait, hold on. I think I did see that. Hold on.
Thank you to Debbie Ardust. Georgie. Georgie again. And Georgie again.
Those are all on the PayPals. Thank you. Yeah, well, it's not really my back. It's always been, you know, in your vertebrae, you have those little foramen, the openings that come out with the nerves. They just weren't like firing signals out to my arm. Tricep, bicep, everything. Upper chest muscles. And then just over time, you know, in therapy and everything, things seem to be stronger now. Like I couldn't even hold a frying pan. Like if you had you know how if you put a frying pan, you put some water in it and you lift it up. You try to lift it off of a stove. I couldn't do that. But now I can almost, you know, I can do it pretty well. It's this weird muscle that, let's see, what is that? Like cocking your wrist. Well, hell, if I was on the screen, you could probably see it. Like, you know, like your wrist is like this. I can do this pretty good with my left wrist now. Before, if I just went like this, put my hand right there, I could not lift up my wrist. But now you know, it's got a lot more strength to it. But if I just push down with the slightest touch, I couldn't even go like that, you know. But now it's like this muscle this way, you know, like fly fishing kind of, you know, like this. Yeah, that one's the one that's still weird at this point. It's crazy. Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, then you know, Jamie. All right. Awesome. I wouldn't call it lucky. Yeah. Is what if it this thing? No, it's the live with purpose, play with passion, Abby and Libby bracelet that I've had since CrimeCon and haven't taken it off my. The only time it came off my hand was when I had that surgery. That was it. I've had it on since CrimeCon, basically 2 years ago. It's like a little green rubber band type bracelet thing. So no, it's not a Fitbit. All right, you guys. Well, I'll do it again tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Well, it's green. The reason you look at it see-through because I have a green screen on. So you can see some writing on it maybe, but it's green. Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yep. Everybody stay safe out there. All right. Thank you guys for showing up. Also, you know, make sure that you're wearing your masks, maintaining your social distancing, and wash your hands whenever possible. You know, there was I was just reading an article out there. Somebody on my video goes, "Dude, you're so naive. The virus, it only lasts for, you know, the protection for 2 months." And I was looking it up, and the Moderna one, they say it can last for like a year. You know, it starts reducing, but you know, that's where what we probably need to do is have booster shots available and keep them, you know, going. And then, you know, maybe every 5 months you put a booster in, boom, 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 until the virus is gone. Okay. We need to like get rid of the damn thing. Because I don't want it coming back every year. Something that, you know, it's, yeah. Anyways, that's it, everybody. Thank you very much for showing up tonight. And as I always say, be safe out there. Actually, I say, until next time, be safe out there. All right. I'm gonna go get another drink. Uh-oh. Got to contact the other drive. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, thug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector.
Thanks.
Gonna get ya.
I like Reno, Daddy.
If you try and play me like an old projector, crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, free connector, and I'm always gonna be a pump protector, fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his spectre. With all respect, y'all, just remember I'm a type of funk injector. I have no agenda, I'm a pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.
All right, you. Wow, that was really neato. Wow, that was really cool. That was really cool. I sit on a stool. I'd like to think I'm cool. Apple's pretty good. Hey, Gray, is this a Honey Crisp?
Yeah, it's Honey Crisp. Enjoy it.
I will. Oh, I broke my tooth. Oh my God.
Slow down, Mary Lou.
Hello? Anybody there? Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, Susanna, you're like Frankenstein. Hey, Gene! How did you fall out of the building, for God's sakes, huh? Most people stay up in the building. How did you fall out of the building? Gene, tell me, how did you fall out of...
Hey, let her answer the damn question.
Come on, Gene, how did you fall out of the building? I want to know.
Hey, let her answer the question.
Okay, Gene. did you fall out? How did you fall out, Susanna? Hello? Tell us how you fell out of the window. Gee. Having a cocktail, just step backwards, and then you fell out, or...
Did you see that? She doesn't even drink. What kind of a comment was that?
I don't know, I just thought maybe, having a cocktail and, you step backwards and then just sort of, you sort of fall, I guess. I don't know.
Well, heck, glad you made it out of that one. That sounds crazy. Glad you survived it. That's a long fall there. So you were just on a balcony and it just gave way? That sucks. Jesus. Did you get a lawsuit against the hotel? Man, you could have got a shitload of money out of that one. Oh, never mind. Your boss's house. He probably took care of you though, right? That sucks, Scooby. Jeez. Everybody, gonna turn the sucker down. All right, glad you made it out of there. Sorry to hear about that one, Kubi. Shitty. That's a crappy way. I hate. You know what I hate? I hate being in tall buildings on their balconies. Can't stand it. It's like, what are we doing up here? I feel the same way when I'm in an airplane. What in the hell are we doing up here? All right, everybody. Be safe out there.